All right, now that I'm moving to a new studio, it's time to prepare and figure out what movie props I want to throw in there. Let's go to NECA. Here they got a new doll. Oh, a life-size Megan doll. This looks just like her, an exact replica of a little girl. I definitely need this. I need to buy this. Let me hit pre-order. Joking aside, my horror peeps, thank you for tagging me and letting me know this is a thing, but I will not be purchasing it, okay? I like the Megan movie, and I'll purchase maybe a mini version of it. Give me a Funko Pop. But I'm just saying, we need to keep a close eye on everybody purchasing this doll. That's all I'm saying. Appreciate you clicking on this video, my movie peeps. See, I didn't lie to you. The old studio is gone. I was not expecting to make a side flick only a day after the last one, but so much news has come up, we gotta discuss it. Some of the things we're gonna be discussing here today, guys, is we got the announcement of a brand new Matrix movie in the works, whether we even care, our first look at Christian Bale in the new Frankenstein movie, and some really controversial news with the new Fantastic Four movie that's just gonna make this comment section such a joy to go through. Really, that alone with so much more, so you guys know the drill. Leave your opinions down below, hit that like button, subscribe in already, and in case you missed the last side flick, I'm in the process of moving homes. It's gonna take a few months before I get completely settled into the new studio. This right here is not it. This is the old live stream studio, just with all the Funko Pops gone. And let me tell you, that has been the worst part of packing. Too much crap I bought. But until I finally get settled in with the new studio, just be ready to deal with me jumping from place to place. I'm still going to do my best to provide you the fun and entertaining movie news I do, so let's just get into that. Starting off here with a trailer for a horror movie I've been really looking forward to, Cuckoo? I still don't actually know how to say it, but it's a neon horror movie that stars Hunter Schafer, who plays Gretchen. This is a 17-year-old who moved away from America with her dad to a resort in the German Alps. Everything seems to be going just fine until something odd starts wanting to kill her. And while this movie was already on my radar because it was being described as a slasher, and you know that's already got my money, from the trailer it's promising to be a very weird and twisted one. There's a lot of great shots in here, specifically the one where she's riding her bike and there's just odd thing chasing her in the shadows, getting closer and closer. Really sweet. Not to mention the other shots of where she's all bruised up, bloody, knife in her mouth. Like, that is just the type of imagery in my slasher movies I love. So yeah, even though I was already looking forward to this movie, this trailer got me even more excited. Let me know if you guys are looking forward to Cuckoo. How do you say it? Place your bets now. Somebody better say it in the movie, and when they do, I'm gonna be like Peter Griffin going, he said it. Next up here, something I wanted to talk about the last side flick but forgot to bring it in is we got an update on a new Hellraiser sequel. So you guys might have remembered just a few years ago, we got a new Hellraiser reboot. It debuted on Hulu, and although some people were mixed on it, I actually really enjoyed it. There's plenty of terrible Hellraiser movies. I myself only enjoy the first 4 movies, but I found the new reboot to be a pleasant surprise with some interesting ideas in the world, and now they're giving us an update on a possible sequel. One of the producers of the Hellraiser reboot said this: yeah, we're trying to do a follow-up, and there have been conversations. I can't exactly say where we're at in those conversations, but Berkner is involved in those conversations, and we spent a lot of time and energy, I think, relaunching that world. A lot of brain power going into crafting the Cenobite designs, figuring out how we're going to pull them off, and we learned so much. And I think moving forward, we love that all the knowledge is sort of banked and that time has been spent. So we think moving forward and going into another movie is just going to be even crazier and even more awesome. So yeah, that's something we're definitely hard at work on and hope we'll have more news soon. Hey, give it to me. For the longest time, I wasn't even a fan of the Hellraiser movies, but it was because of this new one coming out that I finally went to go watch the original movies, and I fell in love with the world. I see now why so many people were into Hellraiser when I just thought they were just grotesque movies. The lore with the lament configuration, the Cenobites, Leviathan, and all that involved, there's so much left that could be explored, and I really enjoyed not just the movie itself, but the look of the reboot. I would love nothing more for us to get another movie, but if they continue going straight to streaming, I just feel they don't deliver as much hype. They just come and go, and I don't see very many people even talking about the last movie. And even though I'd love to believe it's going to go to theaters, it's most likely just going to go back to Hulu, but hey, at least it's a new movie. Would you be someone who'd want a sequel to that Hellraiser movie, or would you want them to start over and do something else? Moving on here, we got our first look to what Christian Bale is going to be looking like as Frankenstein's monster in the movie titled titled The Bride. It's kind of interesting how many upcoming Frankenstein movies we have, but this one is being directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal. The only details we have about the movie right now go as, in The Bride, Gyllenhaal puts a fresh spin on Mary Shelley's story, setting it in 1930 Chicago. According to its logline, a lonesome Frankenstein enlists the help of Dr. Euphronis to create a companion for himself. They revive a murdered woman, creating the titular bride. Starting off with a look at The Bride here. Yeah, I mean, I would have not have known this is supposed to be like The Bride of Frankenstein just from looking at it. I'm going to assume she's not willingly going to want to become a bride, as in most of the stories, but they could be going a different direction with it. Looking at Christian Bale himself, the man actually looks really awesome. He's got the stitches on the forehead, he's got them all over his chest, and a tattoo that reads Hope. I saw some people comparing that to like a Jared Leto Joker, and whatever, I can let that slide. But it's the idea that freaking Christian Bale, one of the greatest actors of all time, is portraying Frankenstein's monster. Yeah, dude, give that movie to me. Doesn't mean it's going to be an amazing movie or it's going to make or break the film. I mean, look at Christian Bale in Thor: Love and Thunder. Such wasted potential for that villain, in my opinion. Hopefully, this is not the case here. And even if this movie turns out being not that great or unenjoyable, we got another Frankenstein movie, and that one's by Guillermo del Toro. That one's being made for Netflix, and at one point, Andrew Garfield was supposed to play Frankenstein's monster, but because of the Hollywood strike and scheduling conflicts, he had to drop out. And now Jacob Elordi will be playing the monster, which I'm sure will still be good. But man, Andrew Garfield as Frankenstein's monster, that sounded so amazing to me. Either way, it's just kind of cool to see a lot of these horror iconic characters are just being brought back every now and then. I mean, we got the Wolfman movie from Blumhouse coming up soon. In a few weeks, we'll have the Abigail movie that involves Dracula's daughter. Like, who's next? Black Lagoon guy? Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? Like, come out here, man. It's their time to shine. How are you guys feeling about Christian Bale being the monster? Next up here, we got a pretty big surprise yesterday when it was announced we are going to be getting a brand new Matrix movie. Deadline here has reported that a new Matrix movie in the works at Warner Brothers from Drew Goddard. Now, a couple of interesting things before we even get into this. Drew Goddard was one of the names being tossed around to possibly direct Tom Holland's Spider-Man 4. A long time ago, he was actually originally supposed to direct the Sinister Six movie attached to Andrew Garfield's world, but that never came to fruition. It seemed like this might have finally have been his time to direct a Spider-Man movie, but now that he's attached to this Matrix film, looks like that's not happening. But with that out of the way, this kind of took me by surprise. The only details that we have about this new Matrix movie go as, Drew came to Warner Brothers with a new idea that we all believe would be an incredible way to continue the Matrix world by both honoring what Lana and Lily began over 25 years ago and offering a unique perspective based on his own love of the series and characters. They also mentioned here there's no confirmation right now whether any of the old cast members will be part of this movie, like Keanu Reeves. But you know what? I'm gonna say something a little controversial. As a big Keanu Reeves lover, do not bring any of them back. I think if you really are going headfirst into a new Matrix movie, and anytime you do a new movie in these IPs, you're obviously wanting to set up a new trilogy or a couple of sequels, right? And even my love of Keanu Reeves did not save Matrix Resurrection for me. I still don't know whether people love or dislike that movie, but for me, I was just not a fan of it. I've seen the arguments made how it's an allegory for the Wachowskis and their transition, and I think that's all beautiful and great. As the movie and story itself, I just could not find myself connecting with it. I couldn't get into it. I found myself bored a lot in that movie, actually. I'm low-key interested to see Drew Goddard breathe new life into this. He's someone who's obviously very passionate about the Matrix world. He says here he's a huge fan of it, and he has this idea to kind of bring it back to life. The Wachowskis seem on board because they're going to produce the movie with him. So yeah, bring it on, but I say let's start fresh. Let's do a new. Set up the Matrix for a new generation and stop relying on nostalgia and bringing back people. It's just that holds the film back sometimes. But again, that's just me talking. I know there'll be a lot of people out there that go, it's not Matrix without Keanu Reeves. Well, let's see what happens if he's not in it. But this is where I toss it off to you guys. You hear a brand new Matrix is in the works. Not being directed by the Wachowskis. Are you okay with it? What do you think they should go? Bring back Legacy Cast? Don't bring them back? You tell me. All right, now jumping into the Fantastic Four news that has gotten the internet ablazing. I'm actually going to start off with the newest piece of news that was revealed just today, and that was a brand new poster for the Fantastic Four. Today, as of me making this video, it is 4/4 day. I didn't know that's really a thing, but I guess it makes sense with the Fantastic Four. And it shows off Joseph Quinn's Human Torch flying over New York City. But if you zoom in on this specific New York City, it does not look like any New York City in our world or in the MCU. This poster here pretty much confirms that the Fantastic Four movie will be set in an alternate reality like it's been rumored. And with the previous announcement of the Fantastic Four have it being set in the 1960s, this is an alternate 1960s that is much more futuristic. If you go back in the 60s, 50s, they used to do drawings predicting what they thought the future would look like with like flying cars and futuristic vehicles and all that, but it all had like a 1950s, 1960s sheen to it, and I love that aesthetic. It's a lot like, you know, the Jetsons. And honestly, when you sell it to me like that, all kind of my worries about it being set in alternate reality kind of go out the window, because if it was just going to be our normal 1960s with the same history, presidents and all that, I was like, okay, I guess that's fine. But now when you do this, you show me it's going to be a futuristic take on the world with that 1960s aesthetic. Oh, dude, I'm going to eat this movie up. I love that idea. And so now that we kind of know this Fantastic Four movie is not set in the MCU, it's in its own separate timeline, this next piece of news should make a lot more sense, and you shouldn't be just getting mad for the sake of the headline. It got announced last night, that Julia Gardner has been cast as Shala Bal, the version of the Silver Surfer that'll appear in the Fantastic Four movie. Now, in the comics, there have been two female Fantastic Four characters, Shala Bal and Juno. And well, Shala Bal in the comics traditionally was the first love interest of Norrin Radd, the original Silver Surfer, who had to give up his love when he became a Herald of Galactus. Of course, you could already see the typical suspects online went crazy, pulling out their hairs. Even though they claim they hate Disney and Marvel all these years, they still love to talk about it and complain. So the internet was flooded with woke YouTube videos about Marvel casting a female Silver Surfer, they gender swap. No! Read and look into what's going on. We are getting a Fantastic Four movie that is set in a separate universe, an alternate version, a multiverse version than the main MCU Fantastic Four. That's what we're going to see play out, is this alternate reality, different version, kind of like how Peggy Carter got the super soldier serum in one universe instead of Captain America in our main universe. Those roles got reversed because of the multiverse, and that's what we're getting here. So if you were someone who was allergic to beautiful chrome watermelons in your face in IMAX, you don't want that? You're still gonna get your Silver Surfer dong come the main MCU timeline eventually. Heck, people think even the person who was cast as Norrin Radd for the main MCU accidentally let it slip whenever this announcement was made, because Lakeith Stanfield, he posted on Instagram saying, thought it was gonna be me, but I guess. Making people wonder if he got cast as Norrin Radd in the MCU as Silver Surfer, was told he would eventually be Silver Surfer, so when someone else was announced, he was like, I thought that was going to be me, but I guess. He quickly deleted that and there's no trace of it anymore. Anyways, what I'm coming down to, all this controversy, all these people getting mad are not looking into what the movie's about to provide and give to us. Kevin Feige already explained this is the multiverse saga, and the Fantastic Four movie is just going to be another element of that. I've even seen people theorize and go a little step further, since we know Galactus is said to be the main villain, and with Silver Surfer part of the movie, that seems to be pretty true. This movie could end with Galactus, the devourer of worlds, actually devouring this Fantastic Four alternate world, and then when the Fantastic Four have nowhere else to live, they jump into the MCU, baby. Might not be that simple, but there's an idea. Another thing also, just because it's a female Silver Surfer, I'm not saying this defends it from any criticism. I just hate the immediate whiplash thought of like, oh, female, it's woke, it's dumb, it's stupid, when that's not the case at all. Madam Web is a movie I absolutely hated. I thought it was awful, but not because it was female superheroes, because it was a poorly written movie with poorly written characters, abysmal editing, lackluster villain. In fact, the female characters were some of the most likable part of that movie, but it did not save it. So yeah, this Fantastic Four movie could suck, but it's not gonna suck because it has a female Silver Surfer. It's gonna suck because the story's not good. Still though, that's just my 2 cents on it. I'd love to hear your guys' opinion. I didn't even talk about whether I think Julia Gardner is a good fit for this. That's mainly just because I haven't seen her in anything. I've never watched Ozark, but she was famous for this clip.
If you want to stop me, you're gonna have to kill me!
And that to me tells me the lady can act. But anyways, guys, that's all movie news we currently have going on right now. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Again, sorry for the set and all the changes. Bear with me. I appreciate y'all. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you very soon on the channel. Take care.